Wonderful. So welcoming you all to our yoga practice for today. Going to just explore a little bit of movement, breath, and mindfulness work over the course of about 30 minutes or so. And then there will be a couple additional practices sent out for you to also be able to engage with or explore through the rest of the week. And then going forward, we'll maintain that space for the Tuesday, about 30 minutes, and then we'll also respond to feedback if you have that. I'm going to keep the chair present today just so we can I can bounce back and forth and just show you that lots of these things that are able to do from a chair, if that feels like it fits your needs or wants today. And as we get started in this practice, I just want to invite you to start comfortably, be that maybe on the floor, in a chair. You can even start standing today if that feels preferable to you. And just wherever you are, allow yourself to come into touch with awareness for maybe physical self that is present. Allow yourself maybe to start to notice any physical sensations inside that you can touch into or to be aware of today. Allow yourself maybe to tap into noticing the flow of breath. And if you want to add a little bit of hand or arm movement with breath, you might drop into that practice here for yourself. Could be a gentle lift of the hands off of the lap with an inhale and exhaling, gently lowering back down. If you want to make some bigger arm movements, you can maybe float the fingers high with the inhale, and with the exhale, gently lowering back down. So maybe just finding some curiosity for yourself. You don't have to have right answers per se. There isn't a wrong way of starting. So allow yourself to be creative, maybe explore a few options. The goal is just to create a gentle rhythm and to track the breath and body moving together. Noticing if that feels okay for you. You're always welcome to just come back to no movement or an easy place, just to be with your breath or to gain a sense of presence here in the practice. I'm just taking a couple more moments or maybe a couple more rounds of breath here. However you like to practice them. And when you feel ready to let that practice go, maybe inviting just a little bit of an energy bath. Could be a shake or a flick of the hands. You want to get a little more arm movement, you might just shake off anything that feels like it's globbed onto you or weighing you down. You can go shake high if that feels good. You can shake low if that feels good. You can get the legs in there, the knees, the feet, wiggle the toes, whatever feels right for you. Just allow yourself to shake and release. Good, we'll go ahead and just bring that into softer movements. Start to slow it down, but give the body time to transition with that and eventually coming back to that still place. And today I wanted to offer an accupressure technique. So acupressure is another way that we can use kind of working with our energy to help us meet our goals, being able to maintain our moods, positive moods, come back into calm place when we need to. The acupressure point that I wanted to share with you today is called Gates of Consciousness. And if it feels okay to you to try this out, feel free to join with me. If it doesn't feel okay for you today to try this, maybe just bringing awareness to places that I'm talking about, or just finding awareness for whatever you do notice about your own experience, gently and with compassion always. So the Gates of Consciousness point, and I'll go ahead and use a little diagram here. We're looking at this spot right here. I don't know if that's possible for you to see. Okay, maybe not. I will go ahead and show you on my own. We're talking about a space just kind of at the back of the skull. I like to start my fingertips kind of where, like right in the middle, kind of the top of the spine, the base of the skull. And you can gently kind of spread the fingers out from that center point across the back of the neck to where you notice just a little bit of sensitivity, and that's our indication that we found kind of that tender spot. So when you find that, if you can find that, you maybe just take a little gentle rub. You can rub in a small circle. You can tap, just a light tapping can also stimulate and open that point for yourself. Or if it feels okay to just gently press, you might even just gently press into that point there. A couple of options that you have from here is a gentle tilt back of the head. That might kind of intensify that situation, so doing so gently if that feels okay for you. No need to go there if that doesn't feel good. And you can release that hold and come back to it anytime that you want to. But just allowing yourself to take notice of maybe some tension here. This can be very helpful for insomnia. If you experience migraines or headaches, this can be a helpful point for you. And it helps us bring balance between mind and body. So for today, just allowing a little exploration of what does that feel like, what does that mean, or what can you notice from this exploration? And maybe just giving yourself a couple more moments to breathe with this awareness or with this pressure point. And when you feel ready to let that practice go, doing so for yourself, just knowing you can always come back to this or come back and learn more about what this experience is like at a later time. So you might just gently, again, kind of release the hands. If there's any tension in those hands from that pressure or movement, maybe just wiggling or shaking that out. Beautiful. I want to offer an arm and breath flow here today. So again, this can be seated, grounded, or standing. Doesn't matter which. I'll go ahead and just stay seated in my chair just for the sake of example. Starting here by interlacing the fingers, so weaving those fingers together, allowing ourselves to flip the palms over if that's accessible to you, and take an inhale, rising those arms up above the head, trying to keep the shoulders down away from the ears as you do. Good. With the exhale, taking a little back bend, separating the hands like we're opening to hold a giant beach ball. A little lift through the heart space if that feels okay. Next inhale, coming back up to center to weave those fingers together again. And with the exhale, lowering those hands down so they face the heart, but we're stretching across the shoulder blades, stretching those shoulder blades away from each other, away from the spine. So deep breath in. Coming up, maybe flipping the palms if that feels good to you. Stretching the shoulders down away from the ears. Exhaling to open, hold that giant beach ball, a little back bend here. Next breath in, coming back up to the top, interlacing the fingers. And exhaling, hands in front of the heart, stretching the shoulder blades open behind you. Good, we'll just take that flow a few more times. Inhaling up to the top, maybe flipping the palms. Exhaling, maybe coming to open and hold the beach ball. Deep breath in to rise back up to center, clasping fingers. Exhaling, hands in front of heart, spreading shoulder blades. Good, taking one more round if you like it. Inhaling, flipping the palms. Shoulders away from ears. Exhaling to open up, little back bend. Inhaling back up to center, clasping fingers. And exhaling to open across the back, shoulder blades. We'll take one more deep inhale here, rising, hands up. And exhaling, just letting those hands go down by the sides. You can add a sigh here if you like to. Good, we'll just take one more cleansing breath. However it feels good to you, releasing with a sigh if you like. Very good. So that's just a little arm and shoulder work there, adding it in with the breath. From here, I want to offer just a little bit of time to explore some joint rotation. So feel free to, you can kind of start with your intuition. Okay, where do I notice a joint? Maybe just starting to add movement there. I'll go ahead and lead just top to bottom. Awareness of all the different joints, adding movement there where you feel like you're ready or wanting to do so. So starting maybe with the neck and a little rotation here, just for the very top of the neck, where the base of the head meets the top of the neck, and just a little rotation, maybe one direction first. Allowing yourself to move and keep the breath flowing at the same time, if you can. Maybe taking it the other direction if you feel ready. And if you find it hard to keep the breath flowing as we add movements, go ahead and just stop the movement, come back to the breath, and add that movement back in as it feels ready. You can maintain the breath with the movement. Good. If you like a little bit deeper of a flow, you might take the chin more toward the chest and roll one ear toward the shoulder, and the half circle taking it over toward the other shoulder. So a little deeper rotation for more of the neck. Maybe you inhale one direction in this practice and exhale the other direction. Maybe taking another time or two here for this layer of movement if you like it. And we'll finish with an even number on both sides. Chin coming back to the center when you're ready, and then lifting back up to neutral. So we'll come in to maybe find some shoulder rotations if it feels good to you, to explore that. Maybe taking the shoulders back and down. You can roll them forward also, or instead. You might alternate or find your own way to create movement through the shoulders if you like it. If you want to add more movement, you can get the elbows and the wrists involved. There might be a lot of things going on at once, so just simplify it for yourself. If you need to, just bring it back to the shoulders, maybe a little elbow. If you want to just release the shoulders and just move through the elbows, you might find a little circle there. And again, you can practice going different directions here, matching the breath and the movement. Maybe coming here to circle the wrists. You might include a little bit of the elbow movement, but just bringing awareness to the wrists here. Circling one or both directions, however you like. Maybe you wiggle in through the fingers. And yourself give some movement here into all those small joints, the fascia and the tendons, all the connective tissue in the hands. Good. As we work our way down, still, you might allow yourself to explore a little rotation for the rib cage. If it feels okay for you to do this, maybe just imagining the low body can stay still and the upper body just comes into a little bit of a circle. And you can go both directions if you like. Feels good. Good. As we work our way down, still just a little bit further. If you are seated on the ground, you might find this a little bit challenging. So you're welcome to come to a chair or to standing here. We're just looking for a little bit of rotation now through the hips. So it could just be just a very small action. If it feels good to you, you might just take a little side to side movement instead of a full rotation. Whatever feels good for you. We're just adding a little bit of movement there into the low body where the legs meet the torso. Noticing if that feels okay, if there's anything else that you want to notice or explore here. Good, and then we'll go ahead and add a little bit of movement into the knees being more of a hinged joint, so you might find a little bit of circular movement here in a safe way. Could be seated in a chair. Standing might look like a little bit of a dip through the knees. Not trying to force a movement that doesn't feel natural. Staying free of pain as much as possible here. Maybe going both directions, exploring what that feels like to you. And then when you're ready, we'll take it just a little bit lower, maybe coming to circle the ankles. That could be 1 foot at a time. We're seated in a chair or on the floor. You might explore both ankles rotating at the same time. You can choose, do they go both directions together? Or do they go opposite directions? Just noticing what feels natural for you. How you like to move, what feels good in your own skin. When you feel that is satisfied, you might add a little bit of wiggle to the toes. Again, opening up some of the fascia and the tissues in the feet. Lots of small bones coordinating to help us move through our life. Allowing ourselves to maybe set all of that down. As you're ready, if there's anything that you notice wants a little bit more movement or more attention, you can feel free to go back to that space or give yourself that movement and flow. From here, I will invite coming into what we call a propioceptive forward fold. Proprioceptive is kind of a big word, but it just means that we're finding awareness through touch, through physical sensation. So a few ways we can practice this. I'll start from the chair so you can notice. This can also be done on the ground if you extend the legs out in front, or even from a cross-legged position, you can still kind of trace hands across the legs. If it doesn't feel good to you to add that kind of layer of touch, that's okay. You can just allow your hands to stay grounded beside you. We'll start from a nice tall spine. So noticing whatever is supporting underneath the seat or underneath the body. And when you feel ready to start to explore forward fold, just allowing the hands perhaps to trace the legs if that feels okay. Gently releasing the upper body down toward the legs. On an inhale, maybe rising back up. With the exhale again, maybe coming forward and down. Maybe at the bottom you let the head and the neck be soft here. And inhaling to rise your way back up. So I will go ahead and switch positions to standing and show that example. Feel free to move however you like to. With the exhale, maybe coming to lower yourself down. You can stop anywhere along that path that feels like the right place for you. Inhaling to rise back up as you choose. Exhaling, maybe coming back into any depth of fold. Inhaling to rise back up. And the hands can switch positions too. Maybe you want to trace the outsides of the legs or the backs of the legs. All of this is available for you to choose. Maybe taking one more round or 2 more rounds here as you like. Exhaling into our fold and inhaling to rise back up. Good. When you feel ready to release that shape, you can again maybe wiggle it out, shake it out, or find a bounce. Good. So from here, inviting us to come a little bit lower toward the ground. I'm going to invite a couple of versions. So the next shape I'll invite is the downward facing dog. If you want to see what that looks like from a chair, you can use either the seat of the chair or the back of the chair as a handhold and find that same kind of triangle shape in the body by walking the feet back, leaning forward, allow yourself to stretch from the shoulders all the way through the fingers. This is also possible to do with a wall, and I'll show that example here as well. Hands can come flat to the wall. Walking the feet back any amount and allowing yourself to take a nice shape where you're pressing out of the wall and out of the floor all at the same time. And then of course, option to take that downward dog all the way to the ground. Oops. Hands grounded and feet maybe walking down or back behind you, maybe connecting the heels toward the floor. They might not touch, mine don't. But allow yourself to just find whatever level of stretch. You can add movement here if you want to rock back and forth. Maybe bend the knees or alternate bending the knees. Lots of different different options here for you. And if you like to, you can find your way toward a child's pose, or you can come back out of that downward dog, make your way back into it. Maybe find a chair or a floor variation that you like. Maybe you want to add in just another layer of the practice, another piece of awareness here. Lots of different ways to play with the shape. Good, taking maybe another couple of breaths. At this time, allow yourself to feel, I guess, fully through that part of the practice, and then inviting you to come all the way down toward the floor. If you'd like to, we'll just go ahead and transition in a child's pose. If you aren't here already, you might allow yourself to come down, sit the hips toward the heels, maybe release the upper body toward the floor. If you want to take this shape from a chair pose, we'll just invite a forward fold where we can release the upper body over the lower body, like so. Just finding from this place anything that you can release or let go of, anywhere that you're noticing maybe you hold tension. Maybe at this moment you don't need to hold on or support quite so hard. You can let it soften just a little. And as always, adding breath to whatever shape you choose. Wherever you find yourself or want to be, allowing yourself to find that deep breath in and fully release the breath, letting it back out. Inviting one more breath or so here in a calm place that feels good to you. And then when you feel ready, maybe rising back up either into your chair or to hands and knees. You might come all the way down here toward a seat. Maybe finding a nice easy cross leg pose, or crisscross applesauce, as some people call it. You can choose which leg you want in front. Sometimes there's a more normal side and a side that feels a little different. So, maybe adding balance to the body, picking the way that doesn't feel as natural to you today. I just want to invite a little bit of a seated twist flow. If you like to hold the shape, you're welcome to do so. I will just show what it looks like to kind of flow side to side, back and forth. So if you would like to, starting with a deep breath in, you might sweep the arms high. With an exhale, maybe twisting to the right side, left hand can come to the leg, right hand behind you, and then taking the gaze around the shoulder behind you as well. With the inhale, rising, maybe both arms and the body coming back to center. Exhaling, maybe right hand connects to left leg, left hand supporting behind, gaze coming around the shoulder. And then flowing side to side with your breath. So inhaling, maybe rising back up to center. Exhaling, maybe twisting to the right. Inhaling, rising up. Exhaling, releasing, twisting to the left. I'll just invite about 3 more rounds. Nice deep breath to rise up, and exhale as we find our twist. Coming back to center, deep breath in, exhaling for twist. Another round or so here, deep breath in, through center, exhaling, finding any level of twist that feels good. Breathing here through center. Exhaling into your twist. Last side. Finding your way back through center. Palms might meet in the middle, and gently allow yourself to find maybe heart center. Placing the palms together, helping the shoulders to roll back and down. From here, you might invite yourself into a calm place. You might close the eyes or lower the gaze. Maybe connecting the base of the thumbs into the heart bone, if that feels okay to you. Connecting with that movement of your breath, maybe the chest and the belly expand with your inhale and release with your exhale. Taking time to notice this breath a few times. Maybe taking one more nice deep breath in. With the exhale, maybe relaxing those hands down if you wish to, or you can keep them here at heart center. And then for the final part of this half-hour practice, I'll just go ahead and invite noticing the full body and relaxing as much as possible. So if at this point you want to lay all the way down on the floor, you can. If you feel comfortable seated, you are welcome to stay here. If you're in a chair, you want to move to a chair, this is also an option for you. And I'll just talk through different parts of the body that we can notice, bring awareness to, and then just notice if they feel ready to soften. Bringing as much relaxation, as much ease into this part of the practice as we can. So starting by drawing breath all the way down into your toes. Maybe you can wiggle or soften those toes, find awareness for that space. Allow yourself to notice or relax through the bottoms of the feet, the tops of the feet, and the ankles. Noticing or softening through the shins and the calves and the low legs. Noticing or softening space through the knees, fronts of the knees and the backs of the knees. Noticing or relaxing the upper legs, fronts of the legs and the backs of the legs. Noticing any tension or being able to relax the space around the hips. Allowing yourself to notice or relax through the low belly and the low back. Maybe softening or allowing the internal organs to be free and float here. Maybe finding a soft belly. Bringing awareness into the rib cage. Softening or breathing into the space around the heart and the lungs. Maybe relaxing or easing any tension around the shoulder blades or the upper back. Relaxing or softening through the collarbones and the tops of the shoulders. Noticing or softening through the upper arms and the elbows. Ease and softness coming into the forearms and the wrists. Relaxing through the palms of the hands and the backs of the hands. Noticing or relaxing all 10 fingers. Bringing awareness or softness into the neck and the throats. Notice or softening through the jaw. Noticing or softening through the mouth, the nose, the cheeks, the ears. Notice or softening through the eyes, the brows, the temples, the forehead, and all the muscles of the scalp. Allowing the whole body to be present, as calm as possible, connected with breath, in connection and supported by the earth. I'll just invite a little bit of closing sound, maybe bringing awareness to what sound reach your ears. you find yourself in this calm place, you're welcome to stay soft, stay grounded, stay in connection with your softness and your breath. If you would like to make any movements or transitions here, you're welcome to do so. You might find a hug of the knees into the chest or wrapping the arms around the body. Some sort of embrace or expression of gratitude for yourself for taking the last half hour or so in care of your whole organism, your whole self. If you want to come back into a seat, you're welcome to, or you might stay grounded and soft at this time. Maybe finding a space to bring the palms together in acknowledgement, honoring yourself and your practice, and closing with the acknowledgement, honoring the light, the love, and the divine in each of you. Namaste. Allowing yourself to choose whatever it is that you need now. If you want to take the next few minutes just in the space of calm, being here, allowing yourself to stay present and relaxed. If you're ready to move into the rest of your day, I encourage you to stay as grounded and peaceful, even as we move and engage in the world, take action, do our good work, staying connected with breath and presence, coming back to any part of this practice as you need it. And with that, I'll go ahead and close this part of the session and just thank you so much for being a part.
Thank you, Alia. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.